My sister was a drug addict for probably half of her life, but when I was in my early teens, I decided that I was going to be sober for my entire life. And I made that decision with no idea that she was using anything. From that decision spawned a certain kind of superiority that of course develops in every teenager. Maybe this seems disconnected from the video, but hear me out. Overall, the message of this video seems to be if you don't develop a skill in the time that I believe is acceptable, don't bother developing it. I will shame you for it. Make no mistake, epiphanies are a shortcut to developing what is, in this case, empathy, a skill. But it is a skill. It is something you can develop, but it's going to develop for different people at different times based on different experiences for different topics. I came from a family of addicts. I got to see firsthand how bad this shit is. Yet whenever I would hear about somebody overdosing, I would just think, what a fucking idiot. Why am I, a literal 12-year-old, wise enough to know that you shouldn't be doing alcohol and drugs, but these fucking idiots aren't? Oh, look at that. It's a skill that I developed at a young age that not everybody does. There's my magical epiphany, the power of discernment, the ability to know to not become a drug addict. That was until that fucking idiot was my favorite person in the entire world, was my best friend, was my sister. Then it's, whoa, this does not fit the idea that I had about degenerate drug addict. This does not fit the profile that I have always had in my mind. What the fuck is going on? Oh, hey, look at that. It's a skill I didn't develop, at least not with this topic. You know, I could find the grace in me to be understanding about people who lied, cheated, stole, whatever. I had this really well-formed idea of what drug addiction looked like, and it wasn't this. So when I'm sitting there at the top of the stairs looking down at her as she walked into her house, all I could think was, this is not what drug addiction looks like. This is not a drug addict. Drug addicts are homeless people. They're people who had trauma. They're people who had horrible upbringings, which there's a little Easter egg in there, by the way. So one of two things had to happen. I had to rework my entire understanding of something to make sense of what I was seeing right in front of me, or I could deny it, I could be angry at her, and I could be angry at everything that I had no idea had happened to her. And I could be angry about it until she either died or got sober. And luckily, she is sober and she is alive. But that was the event and the timetable that gave me the understanding and epiphany and empathy about drug addiction. And I am 100% certain that there are people who got that lesson and understood that younger than I did. If I meet someone who doesn't have that understanding at 12, is it logical to shame them? If I meet someone who's a drug addict at 18 or 32, is it logical to shame them? We'll talk about this more on the subscriber only side, but it was essentially, I figured this out. Why the fuck haven't you? Sure, it'd be great if we were all born with the same understanding and information that we think everybody else should have, but that's just not reality. Shaming people for not being on your level isn't doing anything good for anyone. I made another video on this topic. You can check that out too if you want. Anyway, I love you guys. Bye.